It's 91.3 Hope FM. Daria Swisher in the studio with you. I have a very special guest, Brandon Potter. He plays Quintus on The Chosen. How you doing?
I am doing very well, Daria. Thanks so much for stopping by.
Well, thank you. We really appreciate it. So let me start off with what is it like to not only play the bad guy, you're playing the bad guy opposite of Jesus Christ. How's that?
It's a ton of fun, of course. It's just great. The Chosen is a wonderful set to be on every day. People really care about that show. They care about what they're making, and I think they care about each other. So it's a wonderful set to work on. And if I'm being honest, being the bad guy is wonderful because I can show up to work and just be a jerk.
So, nothing of this magnitude has ever been done chronicling the life of Jesus. So, how does that make you feel to be a part of it?
It really is. It really is a blessing. I sort of have to wake up and pinch myself every day. It's a trip. Like you said, this is a massive show. It's the first multi-season television series about the life of Jesus told through the eyes of the people who knew him, right? And that's an incredible way to relate to this person. The Chosen is an incredible way to relate to Jesus and his followers. You sort of get to see them in their daily lives, and that's an element of humanity, I think, that is really really key, and it has really affected people. I think that's part of the reason that the show has been so successful. You know,
Hmm.
uh, yeah, and it's a joy. It's a joy to be a part of it.
Oh, I'm sure. So, I saw a conversation that you had with Dallas, the show's creator. You were
Mhm.
talking about the first time you saw the script. Kind of walk us through your thought process. And at that time, did you have any idea just how much this was going to explode?
Okay, so this is like kind of a multi-part question. I'll try
Yeah.
and not ramble on. I knew that this show was going to be different when I walked on the set for the first time, just because it's the largest fan supported entertainment project of all time. So even though we were much smaller in season one than we are now, it was still pretty big. It was a big crew. It was a big set, and it's so easy to walk on those giant sets and feel like you're kind of an anonymous cog in a machine, especially as an actor. You're kind of you can sometimes feel like a meat puppet. Do your dance. Do what you're supposed to do, and then get out, right? But I didn't feel that way with The Chosen. You could tell that people were really invested in what they were making. They all believed in the project, and that's an incredible set to walk into. You sort of feel like people are there to help you and tell a great story, which isn't always the case on big sets. In terms of like reading the script and getting to work with Dallas, meeting him the first time, and sort of figuring out how we were going to collaborate, that was just a really really joyful artistic experience. So when I read the script, I was working on another commercial, so I was like on set somewhere else, and I was like, my agent said, oh, you should audition for this. It's a faith-based show, and I'm not trying to sound cynical or anything, but sometimes faith-based shows are a little bit saccharine. And I read it, and this was not the case, right? I mean, this was like it is a time of conflict, and there is a prophecy. Like that was so cool. So I just love the writing, and technically the writing was great. Like the shapes of the scenes were great. People wanted things, and they were in opposition to one another, and they used all kinds of tactics to get around each other, sway each other, and change each other's mind, and that's just good drama anyway, right? So I was immediately sort of taken in by the writing. I thought it was wonderful, and I liked the character. When I showed up to the audition, um, Dallas said, and this is very Dallas. He said, I kind of want to do something else. I don't want to make him just the regular sort of corny, half drunk, grape eating Roman who doesn't care about anyone. And can we do something else? So, we sort of came to the conclusion that what if he's just really good at his job? What if he's not some lazy, uh, intellectually weak, privileged person, right? I mean, obviously he's privileged, but you know what I mean. Um, what if he's a super efficient bureaucrat? What if he's there to really do, what if he really believes in his cause and what he's doing? And that kind of stuck. We played with that for the entire audition, and we just had a ball. Just kind of, oh, what if it's this? What if it's this? Like, what if he's this kind of funny? What if he's this kind of mean?
So, you kind of
Uh,
co created this character.
Yeah, yeah. Because all of the other characters, this is, like I said, this is a show told from the perspectives of people who knew him, right? So all of the apostles, there's sort of research you can do. You can read the Bible. You can look at the scholarship. You can find out information. My character is not in the Bible or in the scholarship. So we actually did get to make this up from scratch. And that was a ton of fun. And it continues to be a ton of fun.
And I love the relationship between Quintus and Matthew. What is your perspective on their whole dynamic?
I think that's one of the things that makes him human, that makes Quintus human in The Chosen. And I think it's one of the reasons that The Chosen is such a successful show is because I'm not. When I say Quintus isn't just an all bad guy, right? He's not just being mean to everyone because he's the bad guy. His relationship with Matthew is almost like brotherly or maybe fatherly. It's paternal. Quintus has real affection for him. He can see his intelligence. He can see his take on things. He knows that Matthew sees a bigger picture, and Quintus likes and respects that and wants to nurture it. And that speaks to a complicated, fully embodied, real human being instead of a man laughing, twirling his mustache, tying a girl to the railroad tracks, right? It, there's love there, real
Hmm.
love. Even though Quintus is a terrible person,
Yeah.
right? He does have that kernel of affection and humanity. And
Almost like he's searching for something.
yes, yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And it gives him a little bit of vulnerability too, I think.
Well, it's a really cool play to watch. So what has this character taught you personally?
That's a really good question because we were talking just now. We were talking about this sort of this small little spark of love that Quintus still has in his heart. So you have to find things that you can relate to in bad guys, otherwise they turn into tropes or cliches. And the thing that I relate to with Quintus right now, I'm assuming that that'll change as the character grows and changes, or my relationship with Quintus grows and changes. But right now, I often think about Quintus not being aware of the size and scope of the story that he's participating in. And I can definitely relate to that. Brandon can definitely relate to participating in something that's so big he doesn't fully understand it, you know? And that's something that keeps me, not keeps me humble, but I don't know, kind of make sure that I don't get too ungrounded, right?
Hmm.
You're a part of something that's too big. You don't understand it all the way. You need to like look and listen, instead of I don't know, enforcing my opinions or will.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Well, hey, the last question I want to ask you, what are you most excited about for season 3?
Season 3 is going to be incredible. It is the most emotionally impactful season of the show so far. And seasons 1 and 2, they landed. So I'm really excited about that. I'm really excited about the the stakes getting jacked up, right? I think it's going to be there's a little bit more darkness. There's a lot more hope. I'm so excited about the theatrical premiere, November 18th. It's in theaters all over the country. Go to the chosen.tv or the chosen tickets or Fandango. You can check out how to go see it on the big screen. Um, I'm excited for people to see that. I'm excited for people to see it on the big screen and have that experience together, not
Hmm.
just watching it at home, getting to see it with other fans and getting to see the incredible beauty of the filmmaking on a screen that matches the beauty of the show itself.
Hmm. Well, Brandon, thank you so much. Quintus, and hey, we really appreciate you taking the time, and we're super excited to see the next installment.
Thank you so much, Daria.